So you guys have asked me about it all the time. You asked me about my background and how I get it so nice looking, or, how do I get it to like kind of fall off into like a blue color, or I just get a lot of comments on this backdrop and how I get my colors. So today I'm going over my full lighting setup in this particular studio, and we're gonna answer a little bit of a Peter Lindgren challenge, so stay tuned. What's up, guys? If you're new here, my name is Paul and I run a channel that inspires other creators that your future is whatever you make it, and I do that through gear reviews and tutorials. And today we're going over my lighting setup here in this particular studio. I'm also going to take you over a little tour of this space just so you can see what it kind of looks like when I record in this space. But I get a lot of comments here on this background, and you're definitely going to know how I do that by the end of this video. So if you like videos like this, and you like gear related content and budget filmmaking, and you like Sony cameras, because I'm shooting on a new Sony a7S III here right now, if you like that kind of content, hit that subscribe button and bell notification so you know when I post more videos. But let's get right into this video. How I achieve this look is I have a key light here at a 45-degree angle to my face, just because I like a little bit of the shadows on the side. And this is a Godox SL150W2, and it has a nice photo 27-inch softbox with a grid. It has dual layer diffusion, and I'm running this light at about 65%. With the fan mode off, and the fan mode cuts the light in half, so like 32.5% ish. So that's kind of what you're seeing here. I'm running my camera at 150 ISO and the normal shutter speed for 24 frames per second. And behind me, how I'm achieving this, if I move out of the way, you'll be able to see. I just have a ring light from Weelight, the WE10. It's an RGB ring light, and it is remote control, so I pull up my phone and I can roll through the dial and set whatever colors. I got video on that light, you can check it out. But that's how I'm achieving this. I found that's the easiest way. It puts out a ton of light, so I don't even have to angle it right towards the source. As you can see, it's kind of more so just angling up. And so when I sit here, I kind of cover that. You can achieve like any color with this look. I'm just splashing it on a blue screen, essentially. It's blue fabric. There are sound panels behind me, and that's how I'm achieving this look, and that's my entire lighting setup for this particular studio. Should I have a kicker off the side? It probably would be pretty cool, but I make this work and it looks good enough for me. I probably would like to add like a tube light behind me or something. I love the tubes. I think the tubes are probably a great way to light a lot of things now. All these new tube lights coming out, like the Palo tubes, and just a number of other brands. I actually have a small tube light that I reviewed from Falcon Eyes. You can check it out. But it's a great way to hang them above your head, behind you, out of the shot, and not only reflect 5500 Kelvin or 3200 Kelvin, depending on what you shoot, but you can also get RGB. But this is my basic setup. I'm going to take you on a tour of the studio now so you can kind of see what this all looks like in action. Oh man, I'm in the studio space right now. Obviously it's a little blown out because I shoot in a little bit different setting here, but this is my studio. See, this is the blue wall that I'm talking about right here. This is a school studio. I'll give you like a big room tour, but this is the blue wall that I'm talking about. So anybody can really just get either a blue material or a black drop that's like a bright royal blue, and I just splash this background right here with this ring light that's just kind of angled up here, like I said. And I do that with green. I've done it with multiple other colors, as I've done a lot of stuff for my school. You can see like this purple, and to do that, you just got to keep in mind that whatever color you hit, mix it with blue to get the color. So I had to shoot like a pink light on this blue wall and got like a deep purple, and that's kind of why the light looks like it does when I'm shooting this green. Some of the areas is like this bright green, but then as it kind of goes out, it turns more of that blue and mixes into that aqua color. So that's kind of how I achieve this cool looking look, and anybody can do it. And then as we go along here, we can see my studio space. Alright, so this is like my little studio space here. This is our school studio. Now, I don't obviously use all those cameras, that's for the school, but I do use, this is my softbox I was telling you about in lighting setup, and I literally do it at a 45-degree angle. I sit there at that. I have my white microphone kind of wirelessly with a Rode, so I can hit it over to this camera, which is currently my new camera that I'm using, my A7S III, and that is my whole lighting setup. It's really simple. I try to keep it simple, and I could utilize these lights up here, but the problem is they are not daylight like I typically run with this light right here. This is a daylight only light. This is 3200 Kelvin. Those are 3200 Kelvin, but the reason I don't use these is because they are only one output and they just blow everything away and there's no grid. So I have way more control with this setup. So unfortunately, I don't use those. Those would make really cool like background lights and kicker lights there, but I just don't use them. So in this challenge video, Peter Lindgren set out. He wanted to see the space, so you can see my space, Peter, in Nanlite. You can see what it looks like. I would personally love to have the palo tubes kind of to replace that little ring light there for both background light, and I love how Peter used it. This is also like my B-roll table, so I could keep using my main key light and really get some nice use out of the palo tubes for B-roll and any other ambience, and maybe even have a hanging above my head and be kind of like that kicker light for lighting my body. There's so much use out of those palo tubes. I think really they're like one of the better things on the market right now for lighting, as far as just very versatile and you can use in a lot of different scenarios. Anyway, that's my little lighting setup. That's for my personal YouTube studio, and I shoot in here with the school and help them out with their setup because I'm honestly the most knowledgeable person at the school for that. But I shoot in here for my lunch breaks and after school hours and before, so that's how I get my YouTube stuff done. And a lot of it is shot in this room here because I work here at the school tech. So see, it's not really that crazy or complicated to get something that looks good to you, and this stuff isn't really that expensive. This is a budget softbox. This is somewhat of a budget light from Godox, and then you have this really budget ring light, and you can honestly buy these things one at a time, like maybe start with a ring light, use it as your key light until you can afford a bigger softbox and a COB light. And I have tons of different stuff on my channel for that kind of lighting too, so you can check it out. I know that WeLight has a bunch of other really good lights as well that I would suggest, and I have one coming up that's a budgetary option, so you might want to stay tuned for that. And you can have a whole studio set up with just those little WeLights, and all app controlled, really sweet. That's what I do with this light. I kind of set the color with my phone, and that's how I achieve this simple, but I guess there's a lot of controversy around my background. It looks really cool. I dig it because it's green, but that's really how you do it. Mix a blue screen and a green and some RGB lights together, and that's what you get. But if you like this video, please hit that subscribe button, that like button. I highly appreciate it. If you want to see any of the products down below, there'll be links in the description below with affiliate links, and I get a little bit of a kickback from that, and I appreciate that. Got some new merch. You can check that out in the description as well if you like Back to the Future as much as I do, because I just love it. And you can do all the fun YouTube-y things, and you guys know that I will see you in the future.
Make it right.